Hi guys, this is Jake at Canadian Cutting Edge. I know it's not Friday, but we're taking a look at a fixed blade. It's Wednesday, so I'm doing Fixed Blade Wednesday. I'm recording it on Wednesday. Unfortunately, my week's just gone crazy without me. So we've got this little knife. It comes in this little sheath. I gotta look at it this way so I can see what I'm doing here. Clicks in very well. Got a good little retention. You heard that. Kydex. You can use this as a neck knife. Use some paracord, tie it on. You've got a drainage hole in that Kydex. It's got 6 rivets on here for something this small, so it's very well put together. Nice thin Kydex, keeps this part light. This part's very thin and light. Who makes this little knife? Well, you saw in the introduction or on the thumbnail. This is a Tangram knife. Tangram is made by Kaiser, and I saw this knife on Amazon.com, and unfortunately it's not on Amazon.ca. But if you know anybody in the United States, or you use one of those businesses that's one of those border shipping businesses, you Canadian friends, you can get this, and then it'll cross the border no problem whatsoever into Canada because it's a fixed blade. It's made of that Japanese Akudo 440 steel, which is a whole lot better than the regular 440 stainless steel. I like it better than 440C. Well, it's a good steel. I like it. It's probably a cross between the Sandvik 12C and 14C 28N. So it's sort of between there in my use and estimates and stuff. What we've got is a nice wee knife, hollow grind. It's all belly. They even put in a little sharpener's choil. Straight back. It's got a nice tip, a nice thin edge, and easy to hold. It's like a little scalpel, and good secure little knife. And if you're interested at all, stick around for the nice close-up review coming at you right now. So this is just a wee little knife, very small. I'm showing this. This is a utility clip. You can see the name right there. Made in the United States. This is a nice light clip, and I'm showing it because you have the option of using this as a neck knife, or you can use this as a pocket knife, and the clip will stay in your pocket if you attach one of these to it. And the cool thing about this is on these 2 lower rivets here, it lines up perfectly with those 2 holes. And all you have to do is get the screws, and the kit comes with some screws. At least I believe it does. I've put this on so many different things and reattached it. I really, really like this clip. I don't think I did a separate review of it, but this is an awesome little clip. Very simple, straightforward, easy to use, but it holds so very well. So you could clip it on there, or you could clip it on here if you wanted to. So you could put it on, well, no, not on that one, but you could put it on this other side if you wanted to, because those, you can get 2 holes to line up, because you've got one elongated hole in the middle, and you can line it up any which way you want, even on an angle if you wanted to put it in your pocket on an angle. And when you grab the knife, everything else will stay in your pocket very, very well. The Kydex is done very well. They've buffed all the edges. Everything's nice. The reason I'm wearing a Band-Aid is I just pierced the tip of my finger, and it just didn't want to stop bleeding. I don't really need a Band-Aid. I just don't want any blood to show up here. So it's not sore or nothing, not a problem. Just I don't want blood on my video. So you've got that. And then you've got this knife with this Akudo steel, and it's a great little scalpel. Very good hollow grind, thin at the edge. I've not sharpened it because it came super sharp, and it still is super sharp, and I've cut all kinds of things with it. You got some really nice jimping on the back right here, and that's very good for your thumb, for a good grip this way. Of course, you can do pinch grip, get your index finger in that choil, and do all kinds of cutting, delicate stuff, what have you. You're not going to do too much reverse grip and kind of stuff with a little knife like this, but if you wanted to, whatever kind of grip you want works with something like this. You can wrap this with paracord if you wanted to. For that, I really would have liked if they would have put the same hole that they have here, if they would have put it up here, another one. that would make it a little bit better for wrapping this knife with paracord, because you'd have a little better lashing point right there. And the other change that I'd like to see, if Tangram listens to me at all, I seriously doubt, this jimping that they've done here, do something not quite that aggressive, but do it all the way down the back, across the end, and along this part of the knife here. That will give that much better grip in the hand for somebody who wants to use this without any wrap. I don't see myself ever putting a wrap on here, a paracord wrap. If I do, I would empty the paracord. I'd take all the white strands out of the inside and just use the thin casing and use that to make a nice thin, lighter wrap here that would still give a little bit extra grip. Because I like a knife like this, whoops, got that upside down, to be nice and thin and light. Now listen to this retention. Nice clip on there. It holds very, very well. Good, great design. So easy to use, and you just push off. You don't need a second hand. It holds well enough that you can just push it off if you want to, or if it's on your neck, you can just pull off, and that would work just great. I like the charcoal color rivets that they use. There's drainage holes in here, so that if you were to wear it this way and it got water in here, it would stay, the water would leak right through. That's a very good thing. The hollow grind is done very well. Nice even sharpness to it. Nice thick blade here. Let's talk about the different specs of this blade. So what we have here is a cutting edge that's 5 centimeters long. That's 1.99 inches. So from this sharpener's choil to the tip, I'll give you a close-up of that. That sharpener's choil, they didn't have to do it, but I'm glad they did, because it makes it that much better for when you sharpen it. You're not going to scratch up your plunge right there. So, tiny little touches that mean a lot. So that's a very good thing. And then the blade length, well, I'm calling the blade length, from the plunge line right here. I just drew it up to the top and measured across the straight back. Blade length is 4.74 centimeters, 1.86 inches. The blade thickness is also the handle thickness, 2.76 millimeters, 0.1085 inches. The blade depth is 1.9 centimeters. That's 0.75 of an inch. The thickness of the edge behind the grind, it's 0.35 millimeters. That's 0.0135 inches. So a nice thin edge there, scalpel edge. And this hollow grind is such that you'll be able to sharpen this thing, 20, 30 times before you start getting the steel thicker. But it's not so thin that it's, a weak, dangerous dangerous in the sense of it going to chip and break on you. That won't happen very easily. If you start, busting this into some bone or something, maybe, it's all relative on how you use it, right? But I think this edge is going to be durable for a long time and work very, very well. The handle length, well, I took from that plunge line right there, where my thumb is, and measured to the end. 8 centimeters, 3.15 inches. And then the grip area, so that's from thumbnail to thumbnail here. 7.4 centimeters, 2.9 inches. The total length of this knife is 5 inches on the nose. That's 12.8 centimeters. It weighs 29 grams, which is 1 ounce. You add the sheath in, you've got 40 grams, 1.4 ounces. You add some paracord, what have you on it, you're adding a tiny bit more as well. The whole thing all together with paracord and all kinds of, whatever little extras you want, it's probably 2 ounces at the most. Very, very good. I like the nice rounding that they did everywhere, a nice chamfering. The fit and finish is beautiful. The satin grind on there just looks awesome. The jimping looks good, nice and clean. Everything just looks really, really good on here. That tiny sharpness choil again is just perfect. So the pros of this thing, it's very well designed. It's nice and small. There's a lot of big knives out there, but there's not a lot of good little knives out there that are fixed blades. So this is a really good fixed blade. It fills a niche market, I think. Good steel. I really like this steel. You've got that paracord wrap option. There's not that many of these pocket-sized fixed blades. It comes very sharp, and you can sharpen it a number of times. The only cons that I have here are not really cons. They're more just suggestions. I would like this jimping to go all the way around, like I mentioned before, and I'd like another hole up here for adding the paracord wrap more securely at this end. Because when you do use a paracord wrap around a knife like this, you want it to be very secure. You don't want it to slide in the least bit. And so that's all that I have to share about this knife. I really like it. It's a great choice. How much does this thing cost? I got mine at Amazon.com for $25 US. And on the screen right here, I'll put today's exchange rate for Canada and maybe a couple other places. So this Akuto 440 steel, it has a Rockwell hardness of around 59, if I forgot to mention that before. Made in China. This is the, let me see if I can get it to focus right here. There's the name right there. This is the Brevis. I don't know what that logo is. If anybody knows what that logo is, and I'll give you a close-up shot of this, let me know what that logo means. Tangram Brevis, nice and brief, good little knife. If you're looking for one, maybe consider this option to carry it, or just use a neck knife option. And thank you very much to my Patreon supporters and all you other supporters, simply liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and hopefully I can get to some of these comments this time. I do have my son's wedding coming up on the 12th of May, so everything's going to be hectic until the end of May. You may or may not see videos some days, and you may or may not see me in the comment section. It's just the way this month is going to be. Kind of crazy like last month. So keep that in mind. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. You guys are awesome. Remember, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb.